So here are some suggestions of what to do to fix the shoulder pain that I was talking about. Okay. So if you are in a Globo gym and have access to a cable machine, you can do something that's called, I call them teres pull downs. I'm sure people call them cable lat pull downs. Now there are a couple of ways, there's multiple ways to do these. I will post a demonstration video of these, and hopefully that will be helpful. Now, what I want you to look at is not, when I'm doing these, it's not the position that I'm in, because if you talk to any physical therapist about this, the ones that are not necessarily doing their own research and figuring out other information outside of the dogma that they've been taught in school, and that's not knocking physical therapists. They need to have, they're doing they're doing the best they can, and there are a lot of them that have broken out of the dogmatic thinking, but there are a lot that are still stuck there. What I would say is that they will tell you that what I am doing is horrible for my shoulder. But what in reality is happening is I am strengthening the prime movers for the shoulder in a pulling motion as well as in a pressing motion. So the way that this works is as you're pulling down, sorry about the light, as you're pulling down, you're pressing with the pec, you're squeezing with the bicep, you're pulling with the teres, all at the same time. The trap is off. This is nice and soft, right? That's the tension we're looking for. You roll the wrist in, that's going to get this. This forearm will trigger this bicep to turn on, will trigger this pec to turn on, will trigger this teres to turn on, right? And you keep doing that, you keep pulling. I'm trying to figure out whether that works the serratus. I believe that that kind of works the serratus a little bit, but it's not specific to it. So those are the four we're going to work on there. And then that's where we'll start. And what you'll do is you'll shorten your range of motion. So everybody talks about, oh, range of motion, range of motion. If we got to get a full range of motion, we got to meet the standards, we got to do the thing. That will come with time. Once you get the tension, you feel the tension that you need to feel in those muscles, you start to grow that range of motion as you can over time. This is a longer process. This is not an overnight fix. This is not a get well soon situation. This is take the time to be responsible for your joints and for your body and fix the structure. Start at the base of the pyramid, build it wider so that you can build the pyramid taller. Don't just keep building on top of that tower. The tower is going to tip over if you keep building it. One thing hits it. Heavy wind comes in and hits it. You know, you're swimming through the pool and you pull too hard. That shoulder's going to dislocate. You're going to pop that shit out. Anyway, all that to say, you have got to build the structure first. Feel that range of motion. So what I'm saying about limiting your range of motion to where you can feel the tension properly is this. I'd get in the position, I'd pull into a strong position. Right here in the middle range is going to be your strongest position. That's the strongest position in any muscle, is in the middle range, right? So as your muscles get shorter and weaker because they're not being activated or they're not being worked correctly, the strongest range will get closer and closer to the center, right? Which means you will have lower and lower, like a lesser and lesser range of motion, okay? So what you got to do is start there. Start with lightweight. Feel that tension in that pull, right? Bring your hand up. Put your hand on your trap, okay? Bring that up. As soon as the trap starts to pull up in the shoulder like this, stop. Come back, right? And then pull down. As soon as you start to curl forward with the trap, stop, okay? That's your range of motion. The trap will limit your range of motion on either side. So the way that you find your range of motion, you're going to use nasal only breathing for this. So you're going to breathe in as you go up, and that will tell you as far as you can breathe in, that's your range of motion. Once you go past that, stuff's going to start to turn off. It's going to start to fall apart. This is a nice tool to use for anything, trying to find range of motion for anything. Same thing on the down. Try and inhale, right? Where that inhale ends, your range of motion ends, okay? So this is a very this is a super simple exercise. If you're in the military, if you're a CrossFitter, I know if you're a CrossFitter, going into a Globo gym is like the thing you can't do. Trust me, it has helped me out so much. What I would say is take some time. Chances are you've got a half hour. Chances are you've got 45 minutes. Find a Globo gym that you can go to. Maybe get a friend to refer you if you can't get there by yourself or if the cost is ridiculous, which I know some are. I've been to LA. I've been to those gyms in LA. They're retarded. But what I would say is, or you can use a band. If you have a red band or a blue band or a orange band, depending on if you're buying from Rogue or not. This is for those CrossFitters out there that are trying to fix that shoulder. Just start light, sit down on a box, put the band over the pull-up bar, and start focusing on feeling that tension. Another way to feel tension is to squeeze your palms together. That's the first start, right? What's that going to do? You're going to feel, as you do this, you're going to feel the pec come on. The hope is that you can press hard enough that you can feel the inside bicep turn on. Do that, bring your hands out. That'll squeeze the inside of the chest a little bit more. That's important too. That's part of the whole chain. There's a chain of muscles that should be working that aren't working. And now you need to fix it. For me, it was my left shoulder because I broke it right here on the growth plate, and all my movement went to crap after that. Anyway, pressing the hands together is good. Lay on a bench, squeeze a plate between your hands, right? 5-pound plate or 10-pound or 2 5-pound plates, right? Super lightweight, or take some 2.5s. Take 2 plates that are going to slide if you move them, right? And you have to squeeze them together hard so that they don't actually move, and then press those, right? That will limit your range of motion. So right here, that's my range of motion. I can come all the way back to here, but when I get up to here, I start feeling something right here, right? So limit your range of motion. That will start to build the pec muscles, right? The pec is very, very important. It's like the butt cheeks of the upper body. You gotta have them. We'll get to low back pain and fixing your glutes and obliques and hamstrings in another episode, but we'll get there. This is to say those are 2 movements that you can do that work the teres, that work the pec, that work the bicep. Concentration curls. It's an old exercise, but it's a good exercise. You can do these standing up. If you're a CrossFitter, what you're going to do is you're going to tip forward ever so slightly. You're not going to bend. You can bend all the way forward. That's a way to do it too. But you'll just tip forward slightly. You'll squeeze your glutes, right? You'll squeeze your obliques, if you know what those are, if you know where those are at. And then you will curl in and across the chest, almost like you're doing... You'll feel the chest, it'll turn on as you come across, and the inside bicep is going to turn on. Curl that wrist in, right? So you're leaned forward ever so slightly. If you need to, you can put your elbow inside your leg and curl, sitting on a chair. That's another way to do those. We're just trying to stay away from the outside. We've already gone too far here. Most times, usually, we've built the outside bicep up into the AC joint a little bit too much, and now it's pulling you out there, especially with all the external rotation talk. So those are a few exercises that you can do. Yes, bicep curls. I did just say do bicep curls. They will save you. They'll make your pull-ups better. They'll save your shoulders. They'll help you out. We'll get to ET movements, and, well, I'll throw an ET movement in there for you. A movement that you can use, it's kind of ET. I like to do it higher reps to build. I like to do higher reps with it with slightly lighter, like medium to light or medium to heavy weight for these. They're called croc rows. Hopefully I'll get some demonstration videos up here for you guys, but croc rows are awesome. They're not chainsaw rows. They're very similar to chainsaw rows, but you stand on your 2 feet. You don't put a knee up on the bench. You rest a hand on the bench, and then you pull toward your hip. And when you pull toward your hip, you arch your back, and you should feel the low lat right, which runs all the way up here and all the way down to the low back. It's the longest muscle in the upper body. You feel that low lat squeeze back, right? You start feeling that movement in the shoulder. When you come forward, protract under control. Don't jerk, right? Don't let that shoulder clunk forward. Protract the muscles, protract the shoulder joint under control, and then pull the shoulder back and then pull from there, right? Again, do not go heavy on these movements at first. That will come with time. You will get stronger at these movements and you will begin to move a ridiculous amount of weight for the movement, right? But above everything, you have to start by thinking about tension before thinking about position. The position will follow as you get the tension. That's just the way the body works. Tension before position. We can talk about internal rotation and external rotation. We're not interested in talking about that stuff. Your body knows what to do if you put it back in a place where it can do what it was made to do. Okay, so that's the end of that rant. We'll do more demonstration videos and put those up on the channel, and that'll be great. Talk to you guys later. Hope that helps to start you out.